The first time I saw Ko, I thought she was in her early 40s. Her skin had that quiet glow. Her eyes sparkled with peace, and she carried herself with the kind of grace that doesn't come from makeup or good lighting. It comes from within. But when she told me she was 75, I was stunned. No surgery, no miracle products, no anti-aging secrets whispered behind closed doors. Just a way of life. And that was the moment I knew I needed to understand her story. Ko isn't a celebrity. She doesn't chase trends or count steps on a fitness app. She lives in a modest traditional home outside of Osaka, Japan. She doesn't own a smartphone, and she writes handwritten letters to her grandchildren. But she radiates something so many of us long for: vitality. Without noise, youth without obsession, peace without withdrawal. Her story gently invites us to reimagine aging, not as something to resist, but as something to honor. While many in the West race against time, Ko moves with it, and her presence speaks volumes. Youth isn't a face in the mirror. It's a rhythm of living. It's in how she wakes with intention, how she eats with gratitude, how she walks with purpose. Welcome to a space made just for you. Here we honor the beauty, strength, and wisdom of women over 60. This chapter of life is not about slowing down. It's about blooming in new, powerful ways. Whether it's health, style, purpose, or joy, we're here to inspire and support you every step of the way. You're not alone. This is a community where your voice is valued, your journey is respected, and your best days are still ahead. So, grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's embrace this beautiful season together. If you've ever looked in the mirror and felt like your reflection didn't match your spirit, stay with me. Ko's life might not give you a step-by-step makeover, but it will offer something far more lasting: a new way of being, a way of aging that doesn't erase who you were, but celebrates who you've become. And it all begins with how we choose to live each ordinary day. Ko's journey into graceful aging didn't start with luxury spas or high-end skin products. It began with rhythm, the daily rituals she honored with quiet devotion. In her world, routine isn't mundane. It's sacred, and the consistency in those simple practices is what's kept her spirit youthful and her body vibrant well into her 70s. Each morning, Ko rises with the sun. She doesn't reach for her phone or rush into tasks. She opens her windows to let in fresh air, lights a small stick of incense, and bows her head in gratitude. "This moment matters," she once told me. That soft ritual sets the tone for her entire day. It's not about religion or formality. It's about reverence for life. Her meals are another cornerstone of her daily life. Ko doesn't eat on the go, nor does she skip meals. Every bite is intentional. She cooks with ingredients she recognizes, many grown in her own garden or sourced from the morning market down the road. Each meal includes a balance of fermented foods, fresh vegetables, rice, and small portions of fish. There are no fad diets, no calorie counting. Just nourishment made with care, eaten with presence. And then there's movement. Ko doesn't work out, she moves. Walking to the market, sweeping her home, tending her plants, stretching her limbs in the morning sunlight. She says that keeping her body in motion reminds her that she is alive. It's not a performance. It's a conversation with her own body. Still water becomes stagnant, she often says. And so does the body if it doesn't move. Even her cleaning is mindful. She treats her home with respect, keeping it uncluttered and peaceful. She believes a tidy space is a reflection of a tidy mind. Her evenings are marked by silence and reflection. She journals in the same notebook she's used for years. She combs her silver hair 100 strokes each night. Not for vanity, but because her grandmother told her each strand deserves your care. Ko's life may seem simple, but it is rich with meaning. Her routines are not chores. They're the framework of her vitality. In a world that often glamorizes busyness, Ko offers an alternative. A life lived slowly with presence and filled with purpose. And in that slowness, she has found her youth not in years rewound, but in the joy of fully inhabiting each moment. Ko's sense of purpose is not driven by achievement or status. It's rooted in something deeper, something ancient, a concept the Japanese call ikigai. It means your reason for being the thing that gets you out of bed in the morning with a quiet fire in your chest. For Ko, ikigai is not one grand mission. It's a collection of small, meaningful joys stitched together through time. She paints ink landscapes in the early afternoon sun, not to sell, not to impress, but to honor the beauty she sees in the world. With each brushstroke, she remembers her father, who taught her to slow down and see the shape of the wind, the spirit in a tree branch. She doesn't call herself an artist, but her home is filled with soft, fluid images that speak of a life lived with open eyes. Ko also writes letters, real ones, handwritten, folded, carefully, and sealed with a small drop of wax. She sends them to her grandchildren, to old students, to the women in her moai, her lifelong circle of friends who've stood beside her for decades. They meet once a week for tea, sharing laughter, aches, and memories. They support each other, not out of obligation, but from a deep knowing that life is lighter when it's shared. Volunteering at her local temple is another thread in Ko's tapestry of purpose. Once a week, she sweeps the stone paths, tends to the flower arrangements, and places fresh water at the altar. These actions aren't about religion for her. They're about reverence. She says these moments anchor her to something larger than herself, something still and eternal. Even her grief is held with purpose. When Ko lost her husband, Hiroshi, she didn't shut herself off from the world. Instead, she created rituals to remember him, his favorite tea brewed every Sunday morning, the soft humming of his favorite song while she walks. She believes that purpose doesn't eliminate pain, but it gives it a place to rest, a container that turns sorrow into love. What's remarkable is that Ko doesn't speak of these things as accomplishments. To her, they're simply part of being alive. Purpose is not something you find. She once told me, it's something you nurture. And that nurturing shows. It glows in her presence, in her quiet resilience, in the way she listens deeply when someone speaks. Many women in their later years ask themselves, what now? Especially after children leave home, careers shift, or partners pass on. Ko's life offers a gentle answer. You build your life from the inside out. You make meaning in the small things. You follow what feels warm, what feels real, and in doing so, you rediscover not just purpose, but vitality, the kind that no cream, no treatment, no number can measure, the kind that grows only from a life lived with heart. Ko's relationship with movement is unlike what we often see in Western culture. There are no gym memberships, no high-intensity routines, and certainly no obsession with burning calories. For her, movement is not exercise. It's an act of care, a way to stay connected to her body, to keep her spirit light, and to flow with the rhythm of life. Every morning, as the mist still hangs low over the rooftops in Osaka, Ko steps outside for a walk. It's not brisk or hurried. She walks with full presence, her steps steady, her breath in sync with the cool air. She doesn't carry headphones. She listens to birdsong, to the sound of wind, rustling the bamboo, to the earth beneath her shoes. This daily walk, lasting 30 to 40 minutes, is her meditation. It wakes her up, not just physically, but emotionally. When I walk, she says, I feel the world open. Movement is seamlessly woven into her day. She squats to pick up her gardening tools, stretches her arms overhead. When she opens the windows each morning, bends gently as she sweeps her wooden floors. These are not chores. These are rituals of vitality. And by using her body in these organic ways, she maintains flexibility, strength, and balance, all without ever stepping inside a fitness studio. What stands out most is her posture. Ko moves with dignity. Her back is straight, her shoulders are relaxed, her neck long. She was taught from a young age that how you carry yourself shapes not just how others see you, but how you feel inside. And the science agrees, good posture improves breathing, digestion, confidence, and even reduces joint pain. Ko doesn't slouch. Not because she's trying to impress anyone, but because she honors the structure of her body the same way she honors her home with care and respect. Twice a day, Ko does gentle stretches. Nothing dramatic. She learned these movements from her mother. Simple flows drawn from traditional Japanese warm-ups and healing exercises. They're done slowly, deliberately, and always with breath. 10 minutes in the morning to awaken her body. 10 minutes at night to release the tension of the day. These stretches keep her joints open, her muscles supple, and her awareness grounded in the now. What Ko teaches us is that aging doesn't mean becoming stiff or fragile. It means becoming more aware, more tuned in, more respectful of what your body can do and what it needs. You don't have to lift weights or run marathons to stay youthful. You simply have to move with intention, with grace, and with gratitude. She once told me, if your body feels light, your heart will too. And that's the secret most fitness gurus miss. True vitality doesn't come from performance. It comes from presence, from honoring your body with every breath, every stretch, every gentle step. That's what keeps Ko's movements fluid, her spirit strong, and her life full of energy even at 75. Every morning, Ko begins her day not with a jolt of caffeine or a screen in hand, but with a gentle walk. She steps outside rain or shine and spends 30 to 40 minutes moving through her neighborhood at a calm, present pace. There is no rush in her gait, no earbuds or multitasking, just her and the rhythm of the earth beneath her feet. For Ko, movement isn't a task on a to-do list. It's a language of gratitude. It's how she honors the fact that her body, at 75, still carries her. Ko doesn't go to the gym. She doesn't follow rigid fitness programs or track calories burned. What she does is far more profound. She integrates motion into every part of her day. Instead of bending from the waist, she squats to pick something up, preserving the strength of her legs and the flexibility of her hips. Instead of slouching in a chair, she sits with poise. Her spine straight and her breath steady. She believes that movement, when done with awareness, becomes a form of prayer, a way to thank the body for its enduring service. Her morning walk sets the tone for her day. She notices the colors of the trees, the birdsong in the distance, the shifting clouds. This practice isn't just physical, it's emotional and spiritual. It allows her to stay grounded, connected to the world and herself. And science now echoes what Ko has practiced all her life. Regular walking, especially done outdoors, reduces the risk of dementia, boosts mood, and strengthens cardiovascular health. In addition to her walks, Ko stretches twice a day, once in the morning and again in the evening. These aren't elaborate yoga routines or high-intensity workouts. They are slow, intentional movements inherited from her mother. Gentle shoulder rolls, arm raises, deep breaths while reaching overhead. These daily rituals keep her joints limber and her circulation strong. Most importantly, they remind her of the lineage of care she comes from. What stands out most about Ko is her posture. She moves like someone who has never forgotten the dignity of her own presence. Her back is tall, shoulders gently drawn back, head lifted, not with arrogance but with quiet respect for herself. She once shared that her grandmother taught her this. How you carry yourself is how you carry your life. Posture for Ko is not just about physical alignment. It's a declaration of self-worth. She lives in a home that supports this philosophy. Everything is within reach, nothing overcluttered. She sweeps barefoot, believing it keeps her feet strong. She climbs stairs with ease because she never stopped doing it. And every evening before bed, she sits in stillness, not slouched in a couch, but upright breathing, returning to herself. Ko's secret isn't in a machine or a personal trainer. It's in the quiet, continuous choice to move with mindfulness, to treat the body not as a battleground, but as a cherished companion through life. In every step she takes, she honors the idea that youth isn't speed or strength. It's fluidity, balance, and the grace of still being able to move through the world with intention. Ko's story teaches us that beauty is not something we chase. It's something we embody. And this embodiment doesn't come from a jar or a trendy fitness routine. It comes from how we live, how we treat others, and most intimately, how we treat ourselves. What makes Co truly radiant at 75 isn't just her smooth skin or graceful posture. It's the deep contentment that lives behind her eyes, the peace that echoes in her words, the kindness that softens her every gesture. This final part of her story isn't about skincare or food. It's about mindset, about how our thoughts, our perspectives, and our emotional habits quietly sculpt the way we age. Co's way of thinking is calm, rooted, and wise. She doesn't dwell in regret or rush through life trying to reclaim something lost. Instead, she embraces each season of life as sacred, full of new meaning and purpose. And that is perhaps the most youthful energy of all. She wakes up each morning with a sense of purpose, tending her garden, writing, to her grandchildren, sweeping temple paths. These small rituals aren't burdens. They are affirmations of life. They anchor her in the present and keep her heart open to joy. She carries gratitude like a companion, always finding beauty in the ordinary. Even in grief, she doesn't close off. She honors it gently and lets it teach her more about love. Co's self-talk is tender. When she looks in the mirror, she doesn't see flaws. She sees stories. Each line is a memory, each silver strand, a reflection of resilience. She speaks to herself with warmth, never harshness, and that kindness shines through in how she treats others. There's no bitterness in her voice, no desperation to appear young. There is only grace, steady, unshaken, luminous. And that's the lesson. Aging beautifully begins in the mind. You can nourish your skin, move your body, eat wisely. But if your thoughts are full of criticism, or your spirit is weighed down by regret, your beauty will feel dimmed. But if you cultivate compassion within toward yourself and toward others, your beauty will only deepen with time. Co's life is proof that joy, presence, and purpose are the real elixirs of youth. The softness in her smile, the light in her eyes, the calm in her breath. They are not born from perfection, but from peace. And that peace is available to all of us at any age. So what can you do today? Speak kindly to yourself, move slowly, find beauty in the moment you're in. And remember, you don't need to rewind the clock to shine. You need only to live fully, right where you are. Because true beauty doesn't come from changing who you are. It comes from finally honoring her. In Co's gentle way of living, there lies a profound map for any woman who wishes to age with intention, not resistance. Her life isn't extraordinary because of achievements, wealth, or recognition. It is extraordinary because of its simplicity and the powerful choices made daily with love, clarity, and purpose. From the way she eats to how she moves to the words she chooses. Every detail is a reflection of values that cultivate peace, health, and vitality. The first lesson from Co's lifestyle is the art of simplicity. In a culture that constantly pushes us to do more, be more, buy more, Co reminds us that less often means more. Her routines are not complex. She rises with the sun, she eats what grows near her. She walks instead of drives. Nothing is excessive yet. Everything feels abundant. It's in this simplicity that her nervous system stays calm, her digestion stays strong, and her energy remains balanced. The takeaway: strip back the noise. Focus on what truly matters. The second lesson is rhythm and consistency. Co doesn't rely on willpower or motivation. Instead, she builds her life around steady habits, gentle movement, quiet meals, nightly skincare, regular sleep. These aren't chores. They are rituals. And rituals, when practiced consistently, create safety and renewal in both body and mind. This rhythm allows her to thrive without burnout. As we age, having structure isn't a limitation. It's a source of strength. Third, Co lives with deep respect for her body. She does not punish it with extremes, but supports it with nourishment, rest, movement, and care. She doesn't seek perfection, only harmony. She listens to its cues, honors its changes, and responds with kindness, rather than criticism. This attitude toward the body changes everything. It softens aging into a relationship, not a battle. The fourth lesson is her profound connection to purpose. Ko wakes each morning knowing who she is and why she matters. Whether it's writing a letter, arranging flowers at the temple, or cooking a thoughtful meal, she lives with meaning. She doesn't need validation from the outside world because her inner world is full of quiet pride and gratitude, finding purpose. Your ikigai gives you a reason to stay engaged, vibrant, and joyful at any age. Finally, and perhaps most beautifully, Ko reminds us to live present. She walks without rushing, eats without screens, listens without interruption. She savors small joys and lets them nourish her deeply. In doing so, she embodies youth, not the fleeting kind of appearance, but the enduring kind that lives in wonder, presence, and grace. Ko's life is a gentle invitation to us all, not to imitate, but to be inspired, to return to ourselves, to choose presence over perfection, and to remember that a radiant life isn't built in moments of achievement, but in the quiet daily acts of care and love. Aging is not a defeat, it is a deep unfolding. It is not about slipping into invisibility, but rather stepping into a softer kind of power, one shaped by wisdom, patience, and a heart that has weathered both joy and sorrow. In a world that often tells women to shrink, to cover up, to chase youth, as if it were a vanishing prize, the story of Ko reminds us of something far more liberating. We are allowed to age beautifully in our own way, with reverence and pride. There is no single path to graceful aging. It doesn't come from a jar or a diet, or a perfectly curated lifestyle. It comes from showing up for yourself each day, gently, consistently, and with compassion. It comes from understanding that beauty is not youth. It's vitality, clarity, and kindness radiating from within. Whether you're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, or beyond, your journey is still unfolding. Every wrinkle, every silver strand tells a story, not of decline, but of presence. You have lived, loved, and learned, and now you have the choice to live even more deeply with less fear, more grace, and more joy. So let this be your reminder. You are not behind, not fading, not done. You are rising into a season rich with meaning. A season where you don't have to prove anything, only be everything that you already are. Take what serves you from Ko's story, make it yours, and move forward not with urgency, but with deep, unshakable peace. Because aging well is not about holding on to the past, it's about learning to love exactly where you are. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. We hope this video brought a little light, insight, or comfort to your day. Every moment you share here means so much, and we're honored to be a part of your journey. Remember, this chapter of life is full of wisdom, beauty, and new beginnings, and you deserve to enjoy every bit of it. If you found this helpful, we'd love for you to subscribe and join our growing community of strong, inspiring women. There's so much more to explore together. More stories, more tips, and more heartwarming encouragement made just for you. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.